We're going to make a paper blowgun rocket. Now, this is a great activity for smaller kids who really want to build a rocket, but you're kind of worried about them having their eyebrows attached. So this is a really safe, flameless, non-chemical reaction rocket that you can do in minutes. There are two different ways to make the rocket. Now, the first way, we're going to do an easy way and a hard way. The first way, you need to find one straw that fits inside of another. So you need to find two straws, but you need to be able that they do fit inside each other. And you're also going to need a piece of paper, and I've cut mine into strips here, some scissors, and some tape. Well, let's get started. Your first step is to cut out some fins for your rocket. You can use an index card, or you can use regular sheets of paper. And you can play with the number of fins and the shape of the fins, just like so. So I have some triangles. Now, if you have a hot glue gun, feel free to use the hot glue gun to attach the triangles to the straw. If you want to do it with tape, though, this is how you do it. Get yourself a piece of tape, and you take one of your fins and attach the tape to one of the shorter sides of the triangle, and then you simply tape it on to the straw. Now, the problem with this is that the fin is going to want to flop around, and so you need a piece of tape on the other side as well to keep it in a straight up position. Just like so. And now my fin doesn't move quite as much. You want to do that for all of your fins on your rocket. And I'm just going to put 3 on here. You want to make sure you put tape on both sides of your fins. You can use Scotch tape, you can use masking tape. Either one is fine. Again, if you're using hot glue, just a small tiny bead of hot glue will work just great. Remember, hot glue is a little heavier than tape, so you want to go sparingly with that. And you want to place these fins on the straw that's the larger one of the two straws. Okay? So you want to make sure you can still slide the other straw inside, just like that. Okay? So the next step is you need to seal the top of your tube. Now, you can do this in a number of ways. You can stuff a piece of foam in here, and that will do a good job sealing it if you have the squishy kind of foam. If you don't, you can simply take the straw and bend it at a 90-degree angle and all the way back on itself in 180 degrees, and use a piece of tape to wrap all the way around the end of the straw. Your rocket is now ready for testing. Go ahead and place it on top of your other straw. So slide your launch straw inside the rocket. And if you have a flexible straw, this works great because you can bend it and simply blow in here. Now, if you find you're blowing but the rocket doesn't go anywhere, it means you have an air leak at the nose. So you want to either do something, wrap it tighter with tape, pinch it harder, whatever you think might work. You want to stay away from staples, though, because that'll punch a hole in here and that'll cause an air leak. You can also clog up the top with some hot glue. If you're using hot glue for the fins, you can just put a dab up here too. Go ahead and give that a try. Now, there's a more difficult way of making a paper blowgun rocket, and you want to use this way if you can't find two straws that fit inside of each other. And here's how you handle that. We're actually going to make a tube out of a piece of paper, and to do that you need a sheet of paper that's about 11 inches long by about 1 inch wide. So starting at one end of the straw, you're going to spiral wrap the paper around the straw. So basically you're just rolling the paper around the straw. You don't want it too tight because remember you want this rocket to actually slide in and out of the paper. When you've reached the end, use a piece of tape and secure the end here. If you're worried about it coming loose, you can use tape along the entire length. Now, once you've taped your paper so it's not going to unravel, you can go ahead and slide it off of your straw so you can add the fins to the end. To add fins, simply cut an index card or another sheet of paper into triangles or whatever shape you'd like. You can add them with tape or with small dabs of hot glue directly to your paper straw, your rocket body that you've just made. I'm going to use tape. And the great part about this experiment is that it not only allows you to quickly add or remove fins from the end, but it allows you to Use the scissors while you're doing your experiment, and you can also trim the different fins as you're going along, so you can really get a feel for how rocket fin designs affect the way rockets soar through the air. So you want to make sure you have tape on both sides, just as in the previous rocket design that we made, just using the 2 straws. Okay. Just like so. Now, as with the straw rocket that we just finished previously, you're going to need to close that top hole. You can easily do that by pinching and folding the rocket back on itself. You basically just need to stop the airflow from coming out the top of the rocket, and you can secure it with tape. Just like so. You can test for air leaks by blowing into the back of the rocket here and making sure that you can't blow. It's not a straw. Okay. Now, to launch your rocket, all you need to do is slide it onto your launch tube, which is your other straw, the one that you spiral wrapped around. And when you're ready, you can blow in here, and off your rocket goes. Now, if you're finding that your rocket doesn't launch, it could be one of 2 things. One, you've got an air leak somewhere in here. It could be seeping out the holes from the spiral wrap job if it's kind of crumpled or wrinkled in here. The other place it can have holes is up at the nose. And the other thing that could be going on is you have a lot of friction. If you did your spiral wrap too tightly around the straw, there's too much friction to overcome, and some of your energy that you'd like to be used in the launch is going to be used just getting the rocket off the straw. So you want to make sure it slides easily and freely. And you can do that by taking the rocket body and giving it a slight untwist, and that will actually make the diameter of the body just slightly larger. Go ahead and give that a try right now.